Respected viewers, welcome back to CoinAgeEra. Today, we are exploring a coin that often creates confusion at first glance, but carries an important piece of European history. This is not just an old coin. It represents a time before the euro, before modern designs, and before digital money changed the world. When people first see this coin, many believe the portrait represents a woman. The soft facial features, long flowing hair, and calm expression give it a feminine appearance. This confusion is not accidental. During the mid-20th century, many European mints preferred artistic and idealized portraits, rather than harshly realistic ones. The goal was to show dignity, calmness, and continuity rather than power alone. As a result, several male rulers from that era were portrayed with gentle features, leading modern viewers to misinterpret the image. The portrait on this coin is actually that of King Baudouin, who ruled Belgium from 1951 to 1993. He became king at a very young age and remained on the throne for decades. His reign covered a period of rebuilding after World War II, political transformation, and social change. The decision to use a calm and refined portrait reflected the image. Belgium wanted to project stability, peace, and unity rather than aggression or dominance. Before adopting the euro in 2002, Belgium used the Belgian franc as its national currency. Coins like this 5 francs piece were part of everyday life, used by ordinary people for shopping, travel, and daily transactions. At that time, Europe was still made up of individual currencies, each carrying its own identity and cultural symbolism. This coin represents an era when national identity was expressed through currency design. The reverse of the coin features oak leaves and a royal crown. In European symbolism, oak leaves represent strength, endurance, and longevity. The crown reflects the constitutional monarchy of Belgium and its historical continuity. Together, these symbols were meant to communicate national pride and stability, even in a small circulating coin that passed through millions of hands. Designers aim to present rulers as symbols of stability, continuity, and national unity rather than as dominant or aggressive figures. As a result, male rulers were often depicted with softer features, long hair, and a calm demeanor. This artistic style was influenced by classical sculpture, Renaissance portraiture, and post-war European ideals. After the devastation of World War II, many European nations wanted to distance themselves from harsh imagery associated with conflict and authoritarianism. Instead, they embraced designs that communicated peace, balance, and humanity. Belgium was no exception to this trend. The confusion surrounding this coin is actually a powerful teaching moment. It reminds us that modern perceptions of masculinity and femininity are not universal or timeless. Artistic styles change, and what appears feminine to a modern viewer may have been seen as noble and dignified at the time of creation. Understanding this helps collectors approach coins with historical empathy, rather than modern assumptions. This confusion has also made the coin more interesting in the digital age. On social media platforms, debates over the portrait generate engagement, comments, and discussion for educators and content creators. This confusion becomes an opportunity to teach viewers about art, history, design philosophy, and the deeper meanings behind coin imagery. The portrait on the 1972 Belgium 5 francs coin represents King Baudouin, one of the most significant figures in modern Belgian history. Born in 1930, Baudouin became king at a young age in 1951. Following the abdication of his father, King Leopold III, his reign would last more than 4 decades, making him one of Belgium's longest-serving monarchs. King Baudouin's Régouezouange. Belgium was rebuilding itself after World War II, redefining its political identity and navigating complex social transformations. The country also faced challenges related to decolonization, particularly with the independence of the Congo. Throughout these changes, Baudouin was often viewed as a symbol of continuity and moral authority. Unlike rulers known for bold or aggressive imagery, Baudouin was widely perceived as reserved, thoughtful, and deeply religious. His personal demeanor strongly influenced how he was portrayed on coinage. The soft and calm portrait style seen on the 5 francs coin reflects the public image. Belgium wanted to project a nation guided by stability rather than force. Coins bearing Baudouin's portrait circulated widely during his reign, making his image familiar to generations of Belgians. These coins were part of everyday life, used in markets, transportation, and daily transactions. As a result, his portrait became deeply embedded in the collective memory of the nation. Understanding King Baudouin's character and historical role helps explain why the coin looks the way it does. Before the introduction of the euro in 2002, Belgium used the Belgian franc as its official currency. The franc had been part of Belgian life for generations, symbolizing national sovereignty and economic independence. Coins like the 5 francs were essential tools of everyday commerce. The pre-euro era was defined by national currencies, each with its own design language and symbolism. Belgium's coins reflected its identity as a constitutional monarchy with a rich cultural heritage. The use of royal portraits and national symbols reinforced a sense of continuity and tradition. The 1970s were a period of economic and social change across Europe. Inflation, industrial transformation, and evolving political structures shaped daily life. Coins from this era serve as tangible reminders of these changes, offering insights into how people lived, worked, and interacted with money. When Belgium adopted the euro, coins like the 5 francs were gradually withdrawn from circulation. While this marked a step toward European integration, it also meant the end of an era. Pre-euro coins became historical artifacts, representing a time when national identity was expressed directly through currency. The reverse side of the 1972 Belgium 5 francs coin may appear simple at first glance, but in reality, it is filled with carefully chosen symbols that reflect Belgium's national identity, historical mindset, and political stability during the mid-20th century. Every element on the reverse was intentionally designed to communicate meaning, even though the coin was meant for everyday circulation. This was a time when coins were not just money but also tools of national storytelling. At the center of the reverse design, we see oak leaves, a symbol that has been deeply respected across European history for centuries. The oak tree has long represented strength, endurance, wisdom, and survival. Unlike fragile plants, oak trees grow slowly but live for hundreds of years, standing firm against storms and harsh conditions. By placing oak leaves on the coin, Belgium was quietly sending a message of resilience, a nation that had survived war, occupation, and political challenges, yet remained standing strong. In the context of post-World War II Europe, This symbolism becomes even more powerful. Belgium, like many European countries, was rebuilding its economy, infrastructure, and national confidence. The oak leaves on this coin symbolized not just physical strength, but also moral and institutional stability. It was a reminder to citizens that the country was rooted deeply, with strong foundations that would not easily collapse. The 1972 Belgium 5 francs coin was not created as a luxury object or a collector's item. It was designed for mass circulation, meant to pass through countless hands as part of daily life. For this reason, the coin was produced in large quantities, ensuring that it could meet the demands of a growing economy and an active population. High mintage numbers explain why this coin is still relatively easy to find today and why it is not considered rare in the numismatic market. During the early 1970s, Belgium's economy relied heavily on physical cash. Digital transactions did not exist, and even paper money was used, less frequently for small purchases. Coins like the 5 francs were essential for public transport, grocery shopping, newspapers, cafes, and local markets. Almost every Belgian citizen would have carried this coin at some point, often without paying attention to its design or historical meaning. Because of its wide circulation, most surviving examples show signs of wear. Scratches, softened details, and faded lettering are common. From a collector's point of view, these marks are often seen as imperfections, but historically, they are evidence of real use. Each worn coin tells a silent story of movement, from shop counters to pockets, from urban streets to rural villages. The coin also reflects the social rhythm of everyday life in Belgium at the time. The early 1970s were a period of modernization, yet still deeply rooted in traditional routines. People used cash for everything, and coins played a central role in human interaction. Money was exchanged face-to-face, making coins tangible symbols of trust and economic exchange. As inflation gradually increased throughout the decade, the purchasing power of the 5 francs coin slowly changed. What once could buy small daily items became less valuable over time. Despite this, the coin remained in circulation for many years, adapting to economic shifts while continuing to serve its basic function. When Belgium later moved closer to European monetary integration, older franc coins began to disappear from everyday use. The introduction of the euro marked the final chapter in the circulating life of the 5 francs coin. What was once common currency slowly transformed into a historical artifact. The 1972 Belgium 5 francs coin may not be rare, expensive, or visually dramatic when compared to gold or commemorative coins. Yet it continues to matter in ways that go far beyond price and rarity. Its importance lies in what it represents, a bridge between the past and the present, between everyday life and national history, and between physical money and the digital world we live in today. This coin belongs to the pre-Euro era, a time when each European nation expressed its identity through its own currency. Holding this coin is like holding a fragment of Belgium's independent monetary history. After the adoption of the euro, many people lost daily contact with their national coins. As this story reaches its final chapter, the 1972 Belgium 5 francs coin stands before us not as a rare treasure, but as a quiet witness to time. It does not demand attention through gold, glitter, or exaggerated value. Instead, it asks us to pause and reflect. This coin represents the kind of history that is lived, not celebrated history, that unfolds in everyday moments rather than grand events. There was a time when this coin was simply money. It moved quickly across shop counters, rested briefly in open palms, and disappeared into pockets without a second thought. Children may have used it to buy sweets. Workers may have carried it home after long days, and shopkeepers counted it among hundreds of others at closing time. None of them imagined that one day this small object would become a subject of study, discussion, and reflection. Yet it stayed later, telling its story in silence. What makes this coin powerful is not what it claims, but what it remembers. The gentle portrait that once confused viewers now teaches us about artistic expression and cultural context. The symbols on the reverse, oak leaves and a crown, speak softly of endurance, balance, and national identity. Together, they form a message that Belgium chose to share with its people during a time of recovery and transformation. This coin also reminds us of a world that no longer exists. A world where money was tangible, where value had weight, and where exchange required human presence. In today's digital age, where transactions happen with a tap or a swipe, holding a coin like this feels almost intimate. It reconnects us to a slower rhythm of life, where objects carried meaning through use. For collectors, this coin may sit quietly in an album, its worn surface often overlooked in favor of shinier pieces. But wear is not weakness. In many ways, a circulated coin carries more history than one that was never used. For historians and educators, the Belgium 5 francs coin becomes a bridge between generations. It allows us to explain complex ideas, monetary evolution, artistic symbolism, and national identity through something simple and relatable. It proves that history does not always need monuments to survive. Sometimes it survives in the smallest, most ordinary objects. As we close this story, one lesson becomes clear. True value lies in understanding, not exaggeration. In a world filled with fake prices and viral misinformation, this coin stands as an example of honest history. It does not promise wealth, but it offers knowledge. It does not impress through rarity, but it enriches through meaning. Thank you, respected viewers, for staying with CoinAgeEra until the end of this journey. If you believe that real history deserves respect and patience, continue exploring with us, because many more silent stories are still hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to see them.